we did want to just highlight, we talked about Colston Loveland already being a winner, the number one wide receiver tight end off the board, ahead of Tyler Warren, landing with, again, the Bears, Ben Johnson, the souped up version of Sam Laporta. But we also had Terrance Ferguson listed as a tight end winner, kind of surprisingly, the fourth tight end off the board ahead of Elijah Oronde. An interesting spot when Sean McVay, just like I was talking about earlier, where I like to bet on those smart play calling minds. If he's identified you as a weapon he wants, I want to pay attention. But I don't know much about Terrance Ferguson, so you guys give me the lowdown on this guy, because I just saw a tight end 4 in an offense that I like. I don't know much about him. He has to be a winner though if he's going that early. So what's the deal with Terrance Ferguson?
So I think the main reason for him at least going this early is because he tested extremely well. He ran a 4.63 40. That was 86th percentile. That's an 86th percentile speed score as well. He had over 90th percentile in burst score and catch radius. He's 6'5". I think he's 250 almost. So, and the opportunity looks to be wide open for the Rams. Who else do they really have on the depth chart? Colby Parkinson.
Tyler Higbee.
Tyler Higbee, who's very cooked, and then Colby Parkinson, who is also very cooked. So he might get some work from the beginning. We don't know. But from what I saw in an interview with McVay, he seems to love Ferguson and like the pick. He was 10th in rec yards per team pass attempt and 11th in rec yards market share in this class. So not extremely high. I would probably – so one guy's landing spot I did like a lot was Oronde Gadsden landing with the Chargers. That was like my dream spot for Loveland. And I had – so just kind of background, I had a Gadsden over Warren pre-draft. I think this is a very interesting landing spot.
I've never seen love for a player quite like I've seen this.
No, he hasn't. I am dedicated to these guys. I'm full fading Tyler Warren to the end. But yeah, I think Terrance Ferguson got a great landing spot with the Rams. So that's, young offense. McVay's obviously a great coach. Rams do use their tight ends, but they just haven't had one. They've just been kind of signing, 1 years here and there from veterans off free agency. So this, I think, is a good move for them. But yeah, I guess we'll talk about Tyler Warren being a loser.
One thing I did notice though, before you move off of Ferguson, I just pulled up a quick stat because I was trying to think, okay, McVay, what does he see here? Led this class, Terrance Ferguson, in yak per reception, had averaged 9 yards after the catch per reception there. And you think about Sean McVay, what he does better than anybody is set those layup and go opportunities. Could be a really intriguing fit for a guy that ran the fastest tight end time, 4.63 at the combine at 250 pounds, like you said. I'm very intrigued by this guy. I know it's a lot of mouths there.
He was
between Puka, but that skill set, the yak ability, that could be really interesting there.
He was first in yak per rec and amongst this entire class. And he had a pretty healthy yards per route run. He was 7th. I would totally take a shot on Ferguson. I just don't know. These tight ends are hard because tight ends don't usually get production right away. So a lot of people give up on tight ends early because they don't get production right away. And a lot of the time it's, you're in Njoku, 26, 27-year-old breakout. Like those are the guys that I'm looking to buy. But I would still take Fannin and Gadsden over Ferguson. I don't care that Fannin landed behind Njoku because he'll eventually be the future tight end. And tight ends, you got to be patient with them.
I think he's only under contract 1 more year as well.
Njoku?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I could see him moving on for sure. But yeah, like I said, Gadsden, I think that's another winner for me at tight end is Oronde Gadsden, just because that was my dream landing spot for Colston Loveland was the Los Angeles Chargers. Unfortunately not. He gets to go with Bird into the Bears. Gadsden goes to the Chargers. But yeah,
give me the quick skinny on Gadsden, because I saw he went to the Chargers at 160s or so not insignificant draft capital. And like you said, it's a dream landing spot. Greg Roman's always been good at using those tight ends, especially athletic ones. Is this one of those athletic freak move around tight ends? Is he more of a blocker that you keep in line? Like I don't know a thing about it. What's Gadsden?
True receiver. Like if we're talking like probably the best true receiving tight ends in the class, it's going to be probably Loveland and Gadsden.
What about Arroyo too? More than this guy is better than
Arroyo is like if I'm being honest, like he wasn't even on my board before his pro day. Like I don't know if CJay had him on his board either before his pro day. He did. I didn't have him at like T5 though. Like that's
yeah. I think I had him at 6, and then Senior Bowl, everyone just their pants and move him up to like 3.
Yeah, I don't see it with him. He's below Terrance Ferguson in both rec yards per team pass attempt and rec yards market share. He just kind of had like a crazy breakout year for Miami. Was very injured the 2 years prior to that, and. Yeah, but in Gadsden's case, I'll kind of give you the rundown. He actually used to be a wide receiver. So in 2022, he transferred over to tight end and was 10th in receiving grade in his first season as tight end. Gadsden is 6'5", 240, is an 80th percentile college dominator rating, 70th percentile yards per reception, and 91st percentile breakout age. Tyler Warren had a 40th percentile breakout age. So that is something that I do keep in mind. And Gadsden is nearly a full year younger and was just short of Warren in dominator rating.
I'm intrigued.
So in terms of rec yards per team pass attempt and rec yards market share amongst this entire class, Fannin was first in both, obviously, but guess who was second? Oronde Gadsden II. So he's definitely intriguing to me. Loveland was third in those metrics, but he's still our tight end one.
Yeah,
but I love Gadsden.
I like the pitch. I love the opportunity as well. So I'll be bumping him up my rookie tight end rankings, no doubt about it.
Go for it. I would take a shot on Gadsden. He's probably going to go in like your round 3s and 4s of rookie drafts. But I think that's a steal. That is. Like one besides, him and Fannin are probably the only 2 tight ends I'm looking at outside of Loveland because obviously I'm full fading Tyler Warren.
Yeah. So go on. Yeah, you hate the
opportunity. I have Warren outside the first round now. I mean, I hate him as a prospect. I think he's very easy to watch. So like you see the highlights and he's like bowling over people. He's getting like a 5-yard out, and he's going up against this like little 19-year-old corner. He's a big 22-year-old beast. He's just like pushing him off to the side. All of his plays come off yak. He's just such a merchant about like he like makes me puke, honestly. Like he's lining up as Wildcat, which he's not going to be doing much in the NFL, and if he is, it's like a cute play or 2 per game. He's getting. I think there was. I wish I had the stat, but it was. I want to say like 70% of his targets came within 5 yards. Like I just don't like him as an NFL tight end. He can't separate. He doesn't block, so he's really going to be in the slot. Even though people do think he can block because he's physical.
Who he reminds me of? What? Is Dalton Kincaid, who was also another huge walking fade for me.
But what's funny though is that like a lot of I haven't heard like a pipsqueak about Warren since the draft. Now, before the draft, it was like this guy's alive. This guy's This guy is like going to be the next Gronk. Blah blah blah. He gets drafted. Haven't heard one like sound about him, except now that he's dropped about 5 spots in drafts. So.
I am so not. I hate the landing spot. I hate the prospect. That's it. That's like I would have maybe considered Warren like, late first or early second maybe, but with this landing spot, I don't want like just leave him to the dogs. Let someone else get him because like I hate the landing spot. Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones are going to duke it out all summer for the QB1 job, and they're both horrible. And they're probably going to rely on that run game a little more, to be honest. Like they might I mean, they just got Giddens. What if they do a little tandem with Taylor? They got a great O-line. But yeah, Anthony Richardson is extremely inaccurate. We know this. So I don't know that it's just that it's not intriguing to me.
Also, he's inaccurate like within like the first 10 yards too, and that's exactly where Warren is. He can't separate. He has short arms. He can't have like he just
T-Rex.
I think he disgusts me as a prospect.
I'm surprised you guys hate this guy as much. I don't know. I do hate the landing spot. I hate Anthony Richardson, who's was actually more accurate on 30-yard pass throws than he was 5-yard throws, which is asinine for an NFL quarterback. But it's not going to be his quarterback forever. In fact, probably not most of this year. We do know Daniel Jones. You think about Juan Dale just getting force-fed those targets. Like once he takes over, I could see Warren being that kind of big slot. You mentioned the line, which I do agree. Such a great offensive line. That way you don't need Warren to be a blocker. He is just going to be a big wide receiver. So I do think when Danny Jones takes over, that kind of dink-dunk, scheme it up for Warren to do his after-the-catch thing. I think it will work out better than you two think. But I am with you. I thought he was a little bit overrated coming in. I like Loveland more. He's also clearly the NFL agreed there as well. And he has to be a loser in that sense that he lands one below him. And then also even with there's a decent amount of mouths to feed there in India too. Josh Downs, why would Warren be more of the underneath receiver than Josh Downs, who's great out of the slot himself? Pittman's a big body slot. So a lot of repetitive types there. It's kind of like the tight end of Ibuka, coming in where there's a lot of mouths to feed that do a lot of things he already does. It's a tricky situation there for sure.